Sure.
So like we were just talking about, my name is Eric. Been with the company for 2 years. Right now, my goal for today is to run you through our new price list, make sure we're all up to speed on that. Run you through the website, see if you have any questions regarding that, show you how simple it is. You can pretty much answer your own questions a lot of the time via our website in a matter of minutes instead of making phone calls. And not that it's a bother to us, it's just, sometimes it's just a lot easier to hop on and get your answer. So. I've got 4 binders here. This is all that I was given this year. I've got a bunch of the inserts, so I'll be happy to pass these out and you can open them up and use them. I'll show you some binders here, otherwise you guys can share. I'm not going to spend too much time going through the catalog, I just want to make sure we're just comfortable with what's inside of it.
I have a binder down there. Can I just have a price sheet?
Of course, yeah.
Thank you.
Any more? Can we do the obligatory
I'll pass one behind if you want.
pass them down?
Just I'd give them a binder just so I can get on the same page. So when we open up to page 1, the basis of this binder is, if you're not used to it already, we start with the lead-free, which is going to be your green section. Then we move to the red, which we call standard or leaded, if you will, depending on what the valve is. We also have the silver toward the end of the book. That's going to be our commercial and industrial. A lot of what you're purchasing comes out of that section. Past that, we've got your basics of the hydronics back there, between your valves and your balancing valves, your Y strainers, union accessories. But there's a lot more of that in this catalog, which we'll be going over here in a few minutes too. So one of the items you're buying on page G1 there, which is the first page of lead-free, is that 55, 44, and 49. Those are Italian, straight-up, full-port ball valves. I know you guys buy a lot of them. We do appreciate that. It's a great valve. It's nice to see those over our 55, 92, and 95 ABs. Moving through, we have other options for you. Starting at the top of the page at 55, 44, and 49 DAB. Just to give you a little industry inside secret, that's what we call our domestic valve. We put the handle on in California. Therefore, it is considered domestic.
But the valve itself is stamped with something?
The valve itself is Italian.
And it's stamped Italian, Italy?
Yes, yes. Which any of our Italian valves automatically meets the Buy American Act, so if you have any of those jobs, you're totally fine using those anyway. We really don't sell many of the DAPs, we just have to have an option in there at the end of the day. You get some options there with your wing handles. We've got a little 50-60 with a drain on the side. Do pretty well with those. Good little valve if you need to drain the system real quick, just in a small area. Next page after that, G3, we have our press valves. Do you guys see much press out of here?
We have your valves in stock, yes.
That's what I thought. I was looking over the report for this past year. There's 6 pages of it, so I know I missed some things on it. Pump flanges, I'm sure you don't do very much lead-free in pump flanges, but we do offer them. We also have mini ball valves. We do really well with those 8x8, female by male. Little tiny ball valves.
We have some of them on the shelf too.
I saw those on there, yet. PEX, I didn't see it on the sales report. Do you guys? Okay. So if you get asked for it, we offer both the F1807, which is the crimp style, and the F1960, which is the cold expansion style. Those are going to be on those 2 pages. We also offer, if you ever hear gray out come up, we do offer those. I don't know if that's even a thing out here. I haven't really looked. Moving on to page G8 here, where you get your deep valves. I know you're buying some of those in 206s and 207 ABs I saw in that report. Y strainers at the bottom. Again, this is all lead-free. I know you're picking up on G9, the 236, 237 AB, little check valves, the Y pattern, which is, we're appreciative of that. 246 and 247 is a fine valve. I don't find it to be as good as the 236, 237, which is also an Italian valve, so that's this thing right here. Moving on to page G10, we have our tankless water heater valve kits. Do those in press, solder, and female hand connection. We also do Easy Grip as well. We do offer lead-free butterfly valves. These are certified lead-free. We just got into that last year. So if you get the call for those, I'm happy to help you out. I know when I was at the show this past year, I got a couple questions on them, so that was good to answer. And then page G11, you get into your hose bibs, your boiler drains, just that sort of simple everyday valve. And G12, we'll touch more on these later. It's going to be your lead-free balancing valves. Really get into that here in a bit. Anybody have any questions? I know I'm just trying to blast through this. I want to make sure that we cover as much as we can. Nothing in the lead-free. We're all good.
I'm glad to see the butterfly valves.
What's that?
I said I'm glad to see the butterfly valves.
Oh yeah.
We have, an extensive offering in butterflies and competitive is all
Oh,
around.
yeah.
So, I know we've helped some of your guys during the past year with some butterfly quotes. So, don't hesitate on that stuff. That's bread and butter.
It is. Yep. Absolutely. Page G13, you'll see our accessories, extension stems, wing handles, locket levers. Pretty easy to navigate. It could be easier, but it is what it is. Basically, the top left of each column, you'll find your 5044 or 5049 AB. Whatever valve you're looking for, you just look in that top left column and follow over with whichever accessory you're looking for. Feel free to call us on those. That's totally fine. Very simple to answer. Typical, in case you need to know, a typical your buy would be half off list for any accessories. If we're talking a lot, if it's something you want to bring in the stock, then yes, absolutely, we can help you out more there. But typically, it's a job by job request. This red standard section compared to last year is about 3 pages smaller than it was. Things are going lead-free everywhere. Obviously, we're always going to have our standard, not lead-free valves. Everybody will, especially when it comes to bronze. But it does kind of mirror the green section as well. Not as much as it did last year, but it does. 5044 and 5049 F, same thing that you guys are buying, standard. In fact, I think they're on the list of valves that you have bought. 5080B is our bronze full port ball valve. We do very well with these. Very heavy, very good valve. We sell a lot of them with our hydronic kits. Bronze is a big deal when it comes to, I don't know why, but it is when it comes to coil kits. We're very competitively priced with those as well. I think engineers just like to see bronze ball valves on these. When you get to the red section, here on page 2, you'll see we get into a little bit different areas. We have a 3-way ball valve, or 5045. Neat little thing. We sell a bunch of them. It's a pretty cool valve. What else? Brass relief ball valve. Not a big seller, but we do offer it. Where that would be, I honestly couldn't tell you because I haven't had a discussion with anybody about that. So if anybody here wants to tell me, I'm wide open to. Brass hose end ball valve. Just
You see them on pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy Grip, we got our press over here as well. Again, we have a press by female ball valve. We sell a lot of those at 5024. People seem to like using those. We also have a press female, or I should say male, male end ball valve as well, so you can slide it into the pipe with some couplers if you're just doing a quick fix. Not you, but your customer. Moving on to page R4 here is where we get into the pump flanges that we sell hundreds and probably hundreds of thousands of every year. We now offer impresses. April 13th, we're getting a shipment of press ball valves, or I'm sorry, pump flanges, and if you look here right in the center, number 2422F, it's pressed with a drain on it. I've already sold, we don't even have them in stock, and I've already sold a ton of them up in New England already, which is kind of a big deal. People are loving that these are available. So if you got a lot of press guys, show them to them. They're going to like it. I'm not going to talk about the 5910 or 5920, although we do offer it. It's an actuated ball valve. having a little backorder issue with our actuators right now, to be completely honest with you. Mini ball valves, again, in standard, and then of course we get into our gas valves. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with these, just a 5200, your everyday two-piece gas valve. Inexpensive, just a gas valve. You know, I'm going to stop myself real quick since I already hit that gas valve. Any of our NPT valves are certified for gas, CSA certified. Our green handle was just certified up to 125 PSI now, so you know. Although you do sell most of the red handle. It's not on here, but actually it is. Yeah, it's not printed in here, but that's good up for 125 as well. So you don't necessarily need to use a gas valve, you know, if it's part of a code, something like that, yes, absolutely. But
What do you guys, guys and I say, guys and gals, what do you see in terms of customer requests from you guys? Do you have customers who want strictly gas valves, or do they just ask for a gas rated valve and you give them?
Usually it's they want a gas rated ball valve.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, unless if it's a plumber working on a trailer,
Yeah.
then he might get a little bit worse because I want it with plastic
Just give me
can,
a-
blah blah
right,
blah,
right.
because that's what he's dealing with. But most of the industrial guys that we're dealing with,
Yeah.
they just want a CSA rated or UL rated, or you know, they sometimes have in their mind, you know, what rating they want, and then other times they're like, I don't care, I just want it just to be rated for gas, you know. And so we have your it's like you said, the lead free ones that we keep in stock, that you know, we do make offers for them. So
Yeah.
good. R6, getting to our gate valves. I know you guys are also buying some globe valves as well. Those are going to be brass on the left side, then we're going to move over to bronze on the right side, page R7. 280B. I know you've got these on the shelf. It's a bronze globe valve. Pretty simple. We also offer our bronze, of course, check valves. We have a Y strainer as well. If you go to page R8, you'll see the red and white handle there. That's a Toyo valve.
That's a what?
Toyo, T-O-Y-O. We are the only approved distributor of Toyo in the U.S. Toyo used to be a part of Red White Valve.
T-O-Y,
T-O-Y-O.
and people will ask for that by that name? Or,
The only place you're going to see them is on specs, really, the specifications.
okay,
Engineers are it's still a whole lot of copy paste going on.
Okay.
If it is on there, they also have everybody else listed, you know, or, you know, as equal, so. If you see it on there, now at least you know what it is.
Yeah.
You can throw it on there, and it's in our catalog.
okay.
Moving on from there, page R10, get back into the, you know, the check valves. Same offering that we have in the front of the book. I know you're buying some of these as well. 380F and 387F bronze Y strainer. We sell a boatload of these. Good little Y strainer. We do offer some poly ball valves, hose bibs. You guys doing much in poly out of here? No? Didn't think so. Do you sell to any kind of farms or, you know, anything along those lines?
Sometimes.
Okay. We offer what we call our Arctic valve, A-R-C-T-I-C. It's an Italian valve. Right now, we have such a limited quantity of these in the U.S. I've been trying to sell this for years and haven't yet. We don't have any literature on it printed in the book. It's going to be introduced this year, even though it's been over here for a year and a half. Basically, when you go to farms, they might blow out a line at the end of the year for winter. Those lines, and I can attest to this even on my house, are never fully blown out. This is going to expand and contract with the ice inside. It's a softer poly than our typical 5071 PP. So if you have any idea of who you think could use something like this, you know, camps, cottages, farms, anything like that, I know that's not really in your wheelhouse. Just keep in mind that we can help you out. We also offer it in a boiler drain style as well. You're not gonna use it in place of one of the 15-inch, freezeless hose bibs or whatever they are, but.
Accurate service, man.
And this is what we call our ARC tape, ARC, it's you guys see. I don't even have a part number assigned to it yet.
So it's basically freeze-proof, huh?
Yes, yep. We offer a ball valve and, like I said, boiler drain style, similar to the 302 PP on that. But again, you're not gonna connect it to your house like you would one of the deepens or one. More sillcocks, boiler drains, everything else. Radiator valves, we offer 9101F, 9105F. We sell so many of these. If you get the questions form, we have them. We can help you out with them. They're inexpensive, they're very competitively priced. Same thing on page R14 with the accessories, very simple to go through, extensions, 7-swing handles, handwheels, all that good stuff. Any questions? Anybody look for something they haven't seen yet? No? Silver section is all of our bronze again. Silver is going to be mostly the stuff that you'll be looking at and buying. If I go through here, a lot of this is on your sales report that I have. We offer, of course, our PPR valves. 5019 AB. I know you said you didn't do PEX, but if you do happen to get into it or you find somebody asking for it, that little flange is awesome. We sell a lot of these. People love it who haven't seen it before or didn't know it exists. It's funny who you can just meet and just start selling things to. Stainless steel, I know you do a pretty good job with us on these. 4550 and 4880 are big sellers. We offer that 3-piece, the 4660. Y stringers as well, the 889. Carbon steel, you do any carbon steel out of here? I didn't happen to check the report for that.
Sometimes.
Okay. We do offer a small selection of carbon steel. In fact, I'm not going to open that because it's filthy inside, but it's our 7550 carbon steel ball valve. Very straightforward, simple.
Now, a lot of the carbon steel we do, they want a steam seat. They want a seat for steam, and these won't meet that, will they?
PTFE, is that a specific seat, steam seat?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
They're looking for, instead of the 150 psi, they're looking to go up to 250 psi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On the steam side.
I got it.
Yeah.
I wonder if the 7550 would do the job. We have to ask
With
that
that
question.
2000 motor oil gas.
We work on
Yeah.
steam.
No?
Oh no, I was up.
Sorry. Maybe you would ask them.
Yeah.
Because it says,
No, it doesn't.
it says reinforced PTFEC.
Would that work?
That's something I'm going to have to look into.
Yeah, I mean, because
Well,
even you'd have to. It's hard to say. I can't tell.
It doesn't have a steam rating there, and typically it would.
Yeah.
But we'll ask that question.
Yeah, yep, got it written down there. Everything else on this page should be pretty familiar to you. 415, 421 OS and Ys. So a lot of things you guys are buying. And the 400 glow valves, I've seen that on your report. 435 check valves as well. We offer our what we call our non-slam dual plate check valve. They're quiet. Any big check valve is at the end of the day going to make some noise, but we just don't market it as non-slam. But if somebody asks you for it, that's what we're giving them.
We also stock a mix of these down in Cockeysville, so if you need something quickly, there's no upcharge for it. We don't bill you; these guys still bill you, but so if you need something, we have a good mix of 2 through 8 inch actually. So
Absolutely. 381 Y strainers, I think I saw those in the report too. And then we can get into a butterfly nitty gritty here, page S6. So everybody familiar with our butterfly valves? Nobody familiar with our butterfly valves?
Yeah, when the customer calls me, I generally pull the book out and look at what disc is in them and what.
Okay, exactly. This is the easiest
Because
butterfly
that's-
valve.
Yeah.
That's always the question, right?
This is the easiest butterfly valve catalog I've seen. It's so simple to use. When I first started, I think the first thing I learned was butterfly valves. At the end of the day, it was simple. 937, 938, wait for a load. DBM, ductile, aluminum bronze, or stainless steel. EPDM or NBR. Obviously, it's always going to be S for 416 stainless on the stem. And then we have a couple options when it comes to the operation. Lever, you're going to use up to about 6 inch. Anything above that, you're going to jump into your gear. We can also do it with a bare stem if they're going to actuate it.
Yep.
We do not offer actuation. We can, but we tend not to. Mostly the people who are asking for it have the ability to do it already. The most common butterfly valve that we sell, and that most people probably do, is our 938 BESL, or SG. That'll just give you your aluminum bronze disc, your EPDM seat, stainless steel stem, and your lever handle. Our lead-free, quote-unquote, butterfly valves in the beginning is nothing more than a 938 BESL or BESG with an AB tagged onto the end of it. There's no difference. Any questions on butterflies? Before we move on to hydronics, I'm not even going to really run you through this section. I'm going to hand out these hydronic control books here. I'm going to take you right back to the beginning real quick. It's not going to be listed on these pages, but on our spec sheets, which I'll show you here, a lot of our valves are made with DZR brass. And what that is dezincification resistant. So with your water quality issues that everybody in every town and every state complains about, the valves aren't going to wear down quite as quickly as a standard brass valve would. Just a little extra something in the brass. I'm not a chemist. I can't explain it to you beyond that. I've seen it work in the real world when I lived in Arizona. It is bad out there. Not as bad as Texas. Maybe not as bad as around here. I know it's not great around
Got some
here.
nasty water here.
So, it's definitely a selling point for you, especially with these. These are DZR brass, both of our brass valves.
What did you say it was again? I want to hear you say
Dezincification resistant. Let me smile. Dezincification resistant. Right into the camera there. Don't forget
I
that.
couldn't resist it.
I'll show you our spec sheets here. We can pass one around just so you get a good idea. What we're looking at. There's nothing more exciting than talk about valves, right?
That's what you're here for.
Yep.
It's what we do.
Just pass that thing around, you'll see our DZR tag on there. That's going to pop up on our spec sheets as well, if you want to see that.
Are they all the same in there?
Yeah, they're on the same.
I just gave you the whole thing.
There's a guy at the show last week just grabbed he grabbed one of these inserts, and he just took the top page and took the rest of it. No, the whole thing you need. RedWhiteValveCorp.com is our website. When I first started and when I worked for the rep in Arizona, representing them, it was very difficult to use. It wasn't very comprehensive either. It's been, totally revamped in the past 2 years. The only thing I ever use on this website is that search bar right there. See, I look at it all the time. 435. Customer wants to know about that. There it is, right there. Click on it. First thing you'll notice is there's a silver right here. Correlates to your price list. You need to know what your price is, and that's obviously the next step if you haven't started there. Just look at that little silver dot, and that'll take you right where you need to be. Spec sheet. There it is. All the information you need. else are you guys selling?
We sell a lot of your press valves.
Yeah.
That's
A
what I
lot.
was just going
Press
through,
ball
yeah.
valves.
50/20, we're revamping a lot of our, actually most of our spec sheets have been revamped, kind of updated to look better, to read better, to have more information. Now when you type in 50/20 AB, it brings up all your options here for that valve. You can get your ABS with your stainless steel ball and stem. You can get your ABX, which is the XLC configuration, 2.5 and up, and your typical 50/20 AB. There's your green dot, it's light free. There's your DZR. All the information you need. I don't know about you, I have a file on my computer. I just call it submittals. Every time I go on the website, I just keep it in there. It's a heck of a lot easier than jumping back to the website. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. You're not gonna run across this here, but we have a Prop 65, which is California. You can see beautiful California there in the background. You know, clear mountains and all that. Yep. We did get a lot of questions on this last year. We needed to put something on the website to direct people to. Otherwise, we'd have like a 10-page PDF sent out to everybody, and it's just, nobody wants to read all that. If you get questions for it, you can refer them to our website. That's the only thing under technical there. Any questions about the website? Anything else you want to see? It's very simple. I don't think it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if there's any reason for me to go into too much detail with it. How much time do I have with you guys?
About another 23 minutes.
I'm gonna kick this up a notch for you here. Maybe actually learn something today. Perfect. Pass those down. Why I'm skipping over here.
Thanks, we're good.
You guys want to learn something too?
We do. We are.
Me too. I'm just gonna read along this with you guys and see if I can't figure it out. Balancing valves. Who here is familiar with balancing valves?
Circuit censorship.
You can say that if we talk about Bell and Gossett. I can't say that because I'm not. But yes, that is whenever somebody walks in on either circuit. Hot water return lines, cold water circ lines, VAVs, cabinet unit heaters, AHUs. When we're getting to the kits, I mean, we're talking 70, 80 to 180, 200 kits on a job. I just sold a job per kit. But when you talk about quantities, that's where the money comes in, and that's what I'm here to help you guys learn and quote and sell. I'm going to start on page 1 here, our 95, 17, and 19. We also offer that in lead free. This is a fixed orifice static balancing valve, and I got a bunch here we can pass around. They're not all going to be lead free. Everything I have up on the table, but it's just good for you to see. Where is my card?
How do you get through airports?
Hey, you do what?
How do you get through airports with all this stuff?
Oh, I checked this bag.
No.
Southwest is good with free bag check.
Yeah. Sorry.
I carry worse stuff, but they have to ask me about. 9517 AB, fixed orifice static balancing valve. What that means is we have a fixed orifice in here, a little Venturi insert. Some companies out there, they have Venturi not insert, it's actually cast with the valve. It's not as accurate. By doing an insert, we can ensure that every single one is identical coming off of the line. We're not just rough casting it into the valve. This makes it possible to balance a half-inch valve about 2 to 3 minutes with a manometer, which I didn't bring with me today because I can only check so much. You would hook the manometer up to the ports down here, the PT ports. It'll read in real time on this valve what your flow rate is and what your pressure drop is. the guys that are out there doing the balancing, the test and balance guys, they can have half a building set depending on how big it is in a day, and that's pretty impressive. Because you don't just go and set the valve and then you're done with it. You actually have to go back 2 or 3 times for these T&B guys. It's the right way to do it. On this cutaway here, you can see that we also have this cone. This is called our regulating cone on the bottom here. It looks smooth and round. It's not. It's actually incrementally stepped up. Very engineered item. It's not something that, some guy just drew a cone and said we'll balance with that. There's years of work into this. PTFE seat. Positive shut off. A lot of guys don't offer that. You guys have the cutaways. If you turn that handle left or right, that's your open and close and your setting handle. The reason that's important is inside that orange cap on the top, there's you have access to the inside of the stem here. Inside the stem is an Allen key. Not an Allen key, an Allen fitting in there. You take an Allen key once you have your set point. You tighten this down on the inside, and now you can never open past that. But you can always close it back up. So the guys that are out there that need to shut something off, a lot of them, maintenance guys, they don't know what balancing is. They'll go, they'll shut it off, and with B&G's little set screw, it's awful. I used to work for Bell & Gossett. It's how I started in this business. This is, all they have to do is open it back up. Because that's all they're going to do anyway, at the end of the day, right? They're just going to open it back up to let water flow through. So we're kind of taking a lot of the guessing out of it. Let's pass that around. We offer those, as you can see. I know I passed one down there with different ends. We could do PEX, press, male, female, and solder ends, union ends on it. That's been a big deal for us. We've sold a lot of them with the PEX ends, and a whole lot with the press ends as well. 9517 and 19AB are the only two that are available lead-free, so you're only going to get them solder or threaded ends. If you look there on that page, 9517 is the threaded end, 9519AB is the solder end. This is our most accurate valve. I think it's probably right in here. It's like plus or minus 3%. This thing is incredibly accurate, incredibly fast to set. Even the larger 2-inch valves does not take much time at all. I can get into a lot more nitty-gritty detail with this, but that's typically stuff that I sit down and talk to the engineer about. We can get down to 0.12 GPM with our ultra low flow valve. Engineers are speccing a lot in the 0.25 region, so that's where that valve comes in. I could show you a job here where the majority of probably 40 or 50 coil kits was ultra low flow. Any questions on that before we move on? No?
So where are you seeing these used? Who's using these kinds of setups?
Almost like any job with a cabinet unit heater, air handling units have them. I mean, there's so many different places for these. Any place where somebody comes in and asks for a circuit setter, these are only a couple bucks more than these, and they're still less expensive than B&G circuit setter. That's where you should see those go. Yeah, at the end of the day.
Automatic versus manual?
Well, no, I haven't touched on automatic yet. It's still technically a manual valve because you do have to set it. We just don't market it as such, if you will. We call this our manual valve. 9527 and 29 AB is only offered in lead-free. This is what I consider to be a shelf stock item. I'm never going to quote this on a coil kit, ever. It's not worth it. Something like this will take about 5 minutes to set. Every time that you change the setting on this while searching for your flow, you have to go back into the manometer, reset the pressure drop so it can read the new pressure drop. And then you go and turn it more and hope that you hit the right spot. It's just as accurate as B&G's. It's a globe valve style compared to their ball valve style. 360 degrees of rotation on this to set it. Much more, much easier to set, quicker I should say, to get the right flow. Ball valves are great. Ephraim always says it's how we make all our money, and it's true. But they shouldn't be used for balancing. Comes with this little dust cap on top, and it's also a shut-off cap. You can see here I've got the orange, I don't know, toggle. It also comes with a key. That key is what you would use to turn it, to set it. 360 degrees, whatever their setting may be. Once it's set in that position, again, you get a positive shut-off with this. Just by screwing this cap down. That's it. When you're not in the shut-off position, that cap is just on there to protect it from dust, and that's really it at the end of the day. You're not doing any setting with this cap on here. B&G's got that set screw. From my experience working with that, the handle breaks, that little red handle that they have on top of it, that breaks all the time. You lose your set, it's a ball valve. The stems break so much easier on a ball valve than they do a blow valve at the end of the day. They're just sitting there in water and not being circulated.
Do you folks get calls for any of these stuff? Yeah?
Not a whole lot.
I mean, it's the mechanical contractor.
No question, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be, and a lot of times it's all based on the job spec they'll send over, you know, and a lot of times they'll say B&G or equal, and
Right.
we'll try, you know, we'll say, well, we're quoting red, white, and here's the spec sheet, you know.
And we'll help you with those calls to engineers as well, right? If that's
that's-
part of the equation.
And a lot of the problem is they're so mindset B&G that,
Well,
you know what I
and
mean?
It is, yeah.
it's when we get the job requests, a lot of times we're dealing with just the mechanical contractor,
Right.
not the end user engineer. So there again, we'll try to quote them on it, and a lot of times they'll be fine with it, but sometimes they'll come back and say, well, I want the B&G quoted, you know, because that's what's on the spec.
Yeah, the basis of design.
Yeah,
Right.
you know. And now when we're dealing with the end, we don't deal with the end user very often when it comes to balancing valves, so it's a little bit more difficult to try to talk the contractor into doing it, because their number one priority is they want to get the job, and their fear is if they're not quoting what's on the spec. So
Yeah, it could
I
come
mean,
back
we,
to haunt them.
yeah, we can. I mean, we could try to, you know, make you aware that way. Here, you can maybe find the engineer for the job and everything, but the people we're dealing with usually we're not in direct you know.
Yeah, no,
Right.
yeah, we are, I mean, we call on those
Yeah.
engineers, so,
Okay.
but
right,
we are stocking your
right.
balancing valves,
Right.
so.
Yeah. I mean, there is those opportunities where the person's just coming in to the counter
Right.
and they're looking for a balancing valve, and the first thing out of their lips is, "Do you have the B&G?" And it's like, "No, but here's this one we have ready to stock."
Right.
You know, and more times than not, they're just like, "Yep, we need to do it because they need to repair something."
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
So,
And then the more they use it, the more they get used to it, the less they care.
yeah.
That's been my experience. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I say these 9527s are a shelf stock item at the end of the day. They are.
Yeah, I
They're
would think,
inexpensive. That's made in our China factory. You know, to keep the cost down. It's just something to compete with the other low price guys out there.
all the maintenance folk you guys deal with at local hospitals, I would think, right? Would be using something like this on a regular basis. And they
I think our
probably,
outside guys have to do a better job of going out there and showing
Yeah.
the spec sheets, the quality of the material, and talking about it before the list comes out. You can't wait till the list comes out to get engineering changes.
oftentimes, that all these places have standards, right? And they settle on that standard. Pick York Hospital, for example, right? I think everybody kind of knows what they use and like, but if you get to them, to your point, prior to say, listen, here's what we have, this is what we stock, this is what it offers versus what you're using now. And that doesn't happen like that. That's a process that takes some
Yeah.
time. So,
I mean, we have some, every once in a while, we'll have good luck with certain contractors who know that we're like, well, here's the B&G price, here's the red, white price, and they know that 4 other people are quoting that. And if they're only listing B&G or equal, they gotta, if they're really thinking about it, you know, the ones that are smart realize that okay, I'm going to quote this as the equal, and when it comes time where, you know, we get the job, then they have to approve everything anyway on the spec sheets. So the ones that are smart and realize that the price is what's going to get me in the door, you know, really realize that. But a lot of times it's talking them into it, you know. You know.
Yeah.
So
I've heard out in the field, oh, that valve looks just like Nibco's, or oh, that valve looks just like Anvil. Well, because we're making it for Nibco and Anvil's buying our coil kits for the job. So, these are our valves. We're literally made in Italy at VIR, which is the rest of the world. Red white valve is only America. Who does? Do you guys quote coil kits in here? I don't want to spend too much time on it if you don't.
not to the best of my knowledge.
So who does? Who would do the coil kit quoting? So outside guys?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, we would do
Yeah,
the
comes to
coil
Who would
kit.
be the one to do
Yeah,
it?
we would be
Okay.
the one to do it. It's just
Got
that
it.
we don't get the
We don't.
very many
Yeah.
opportunities.
I'm going to
to
try
do
and help you
it.
change that. Honestly, that's why I'm here today. Going through the price list is great and all, but to go through this is much more effective for both of us, and it's also more important at the end of the day. Moving on, because I only have a few minutes left. Page 3, we get into automatic valves. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
No, it's a good conversation. So we get into our automatic valves. This is all DZR brass except for the rings, because they're not touching water, who cares? Stainless steel piston on the cartridge, DZR brass cartridge. If you look on page 4 here, that is all the cartridges that we offer. There's like 83 or 84 of them off the top of my head. We can change, obviously, depending on the size, but we can change the flow rate in the field. Guy goes out there. Of course, I got one with that thing in there. Anyway, he can pull that cartridge out, put a different cartridge in, and that changes the flow rate. Each cartridge is set for a different flow rate. That's how that works. So if we're going, you know, half inch, half a GPM, we're going to give you that second cartridge on the first top left column. It's going to give you 0.48 GPM.
Oh, sure, just break it.
Very simple, not lead free. This is only going to be in commercial applications. Heating.
What are you looking for?
Still very accurate, 5%. The way that this works, if anybody's unaware, is the pressure coming in will make the piston go in and out. Pressure is always changing in the system, always. There are laser cuts in the side of the piston that will only allow a specific flow through. So it's anywhere from, 2.2 to 25 PSI on that first one, and then, 4.1 to 30, or 5.8 to 64 PSI on an inch and a quarter. So that's a huge pressure range right there. And we will maintain that flow at that pressure. That's the point of automatic. And believe it or not, they're really not much more expensive than our 9517. I'd say probably 15% more. And all these guys do is go out to the field, put them in line.
Do you want to look at that?
We offer them with, again, press ends, PEX ends, female and male, and solder. And we can do any kind of combination of that, whatever they need out there. PSCV is on page 5. I'm not going to talk too much about them because I have sold one and it wasn't in this area. It's basically an automatic that you set. It's not a cartridge. You would set it as you would 9517, but then it will maintain that flow depending on the pressure. We should be selling a lot of them because it's very simple and kind of straightforward, but we don't. They're expensive, and honestly, they are a little clumsy for the newcomers to set. Page 7 here is a basic idea of our coil kits. Really trying to rush through this. CKS is a 9517 or 19. That's probably 90% of our coil kits that we do. CKM, I would just put an X right through there because I'm never going to quote that. CKA is our automatic one, what I was just talking about. CKP is our pressure independent control valve one. CKA and CKS are the two most common ones. This is a coil kit. This is exactly how we ship it without the handle on the back. It ships from California. We've got something like $1.5 million or $2 million worth of inventory just in coil kits in California. And they're not already pre-shrink wrap. These ends aren't already screwed on. We make them for each job. Because we have so much inventory out there, if it's a 50-piece job, give us 24 hours to turn around and ship it back to you, the job. It's not a huge deal to make these. It's very easy. They come with this tag on the bottom. The tag will say whatever the engineer, the contractor, you, me, or the cat outside wants it to say. We can say VAV end of, building 1, whatever. We can put anything on that. Typically we're gonna have your flow rate and we're gonna have the CKS or CKA, whichever it may be, on there as well. But that is as typical as a coil kit gets. You would come in through your wide strainer, which you see there first. Right here, actually, if we look up at the TV, this is basic. Coming through your hoses, through the heating or cooling coil, out through your hose, out through what we call a little unit accessory, which is on there, just this little guy. This has a pressure temperature port, and it also has an air vent at the top. Then you're going to hit your control valve. We do not supply these; these are by others. And then you hit your balancing valve. I wanted to show you this because this is how I do it on every single job. I'll go through the job specs, I'll go through the drawings, I'll list it out in my nifty book here. Then I could just go through and whatever the flow may be, but whatever it may be, I can change on here. I can do stem extensions. I can change ends. I can do handle extensions. Go to when we do automatic, we're always going to do a 9907 IBV, which is this little guy. Just got a bulb valve on the end, because there's no way to shut down an automatic valve. And I can do the same thing on that. I can do it on the hoses. I can do it on the hoses. I know I can do it on there. I can get rid of the hoses, okay, we don't want those, which is actually pretty typical, they don't want them. They're going to supply their own or they're going to do whatever. I can do different unions going in, I can do bypasses going up. In that bypass I can throw another balancing valve. It's actually pretty common, believe it or not. That bypass is, if they're going to clean this coil out. I don't know why they would need another balancing valve in there, but engineers are throwing it on it more and more these days. I haven't figured it out yet, because you're still going to end up going through that valve right there. When you have a bypass, you're going to have a 3-way control valve. I mean, there's so much I can do with this, and you see how quick that was for me? That's it. Okay, maybe that's the job. Good. I copy paste all this. And it ends up like that. In fact, I want you to look at that and pass it around. It looks like there's only 7 coil kits on there, right? But there's a quantity of each one of them. So on each page correlates to the coil kits, and each page has this photo on it. It has the item numbers, the description, and the quantities, along with the price, along with the tags, along with the flow rate, along with everything else. This is exactly what you get. I'll show you here. Got 2 more minutes for me.
If you go over a little bit there, you can to the world, you can breathe.
I'll try and find it all over. Alright. Perfect. I'll do this one because it's the one that I'm passing around. Okay, so what you guys are going to get is you're going to get the details, you're going to get the front page in PDF, and you're also going to get the quote. No, sorry. You're going to get the front page in PDF, that's for both of us, so that we both have the same pricing and nobody's going to edit it up behind anybody's back, that kind of thing. You're going to get the front page in this Excel. And what this is going to allow you to do is go in there and change your net. Do whatever you want to do up here. And send it off to the contractor with the details and the quote. And that quote is, if you look in there, it's not going to have any pricing on it. The drawing pages and all that. Just shoot it right off. I mean, if it takes you 10 minutes to do this, without doing any more work on your behalf.
So the specific list of questions that you need to ask the customer to get all of the right, I mean, you do a great job of bopping through those drop-down lists, but those are the questions we have to ask.
I need
Is
to
there
know
a
your
form?
connections.
Okay.
Yeah, connection. I need to know the flow rate.
Okay.
Typical question is hoses or no hoses. And what the application is. Whether it's a hot water recirc line where it needs to be lead free, or it's a cabinet unit heater where it just doesn't matter. And I also need to know what kind they want, whether they want automatic or manual.
Can we put together a form?
A form?
Yeah, form. that
Like
you
a
would-
question form?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make
we
it-
could absolutely do that, that won't take me long at all.
Make it a little easier for them to, you know, when their customer calls, here's the checklist.
Here's the thing, when it comes to these coil kits, all the information should be on there, and if it's not, I'm gonna ask for it anyway. To start, I'm gonna be doing all this out of my house, which I do already for everybody else, but for you guys, I'll be the one doing the quotes. I'll go through the details, I'll go through the specs, I'll go through the drawings, and get it done for you and give you exactly what you have in your hand right there. But that is a good question, actually, which I typically don't touch on because I'm talking engineers and they don't care. Good
I'm
question.
far from an engineer.
Really?
I can't think like one either.
Okay.
I didn't want to go too in depth with you guys. I just wanted to make you realize that we do a great job with our coil kits, and that I'm here to help you out when you get asked for them. Even if you don't get asked for them, if somebody sends you a bid packet, they're in there. Whether or not you're looking for them is up to you, but they're in there. You can send that to me. I'll go through all 800 pages of that thing. I'll probably have 3 beers that night, but that's all right. But I'll get it turned around and sent back to you. My quote turnaround time, this job took me about a day and a half because I did have some ancillary questions that I needed answered. But once that's done, you guys have this thing in hand. All you have to do is edit that front page and fire it off. Very simple. There's really no work you have to do except send me the spec.
I remember that.
And it's on camera.
It's on tape right there.
I said before, if I'm lying, I have to back it up, so now I'm gonna back it up.
Yeah, don't change your ways and
Oh, you love those
just
spec
start
sheets.
making assumptions.
Exactly. Now, you guys
We had a
are,
flex hose situation like that, where they just
Flex
make
hose?
assumptions,
oh really?
and it's not right.
We offer a balance of about 9574P. I'm pretty sure you guys have sold these in the past. Up here, cast iron, 2.5 through 12. Flows up to 4,000 GPM through that. We also offer a cast iron wafer style automatic. Our 12-inch has, I think it's like 6 of these automatic cartridges in there. And I'm not talking about the ones I pass around. I mean big old cartridges spread out through in there. So we can handle some pretty heavy flows and some pretty heavy situations with these. Any questions? Look at that, 12:30 on the dot, according to that clock.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
It's only 9:31 according to that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's California time. They've only been at work for an hour and a half.
Slackers.
Uh-huh.